DC the beat man.
So epic.
On to the quick takes, right? Damar Hamlin took a little nasty hit. Actually, he gave the hit, but took a nasty fall, and you know what? I had to get rushed to the hospital. I actually got treated on the field. You know, you don't see that too often. And he was discharged from the hospital, so I'm glad he made a recovery. Fellas, really quick, what was your thoughts? So I didn't watch the game live, but what was your thoughts on this live? Freddie, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I was actually watching the game live, and it was it's one of those situations where you become more worried because it didn't seem like a real, like, even when they showed the replay, it wasn't one of those hits where it's like, ooh, you know, like we know why he collapsed or something like that. Like the tackle, when you see it in real time, it looked like just a normal tackle, and we didn't see him stand up right away and fall. When he went back to the replay, that's when you kind of seen that. So I think that's a little more scary, and that's what caused people to panic even more. Because again, if you get blindsided, then that's some cause for concern. But yeah, no, I'm just overall, man, happy that he pulled through. Seems like he's going to be back in full form. Don't know when he's going to get back on the football field, but more important than anything, just the support that poured in from all over the world. They said his toy drive went from 1,500 prior to the game to he was at like 7 milli or something at 1.8 milli. So yeah, man, just a freak situation, man. Definitely happy to see him back in one piece. And
facts. It was such a routine hit too, such a routine tackle. Like, and it was on T. Higgins, which it's not like T. Higgins is some stocky guy, right? It was just a simple tackle. So like Freddie mentioned, you know, like he want to see him on the field. Would you get back on the field? What would be your expectation? Because again, that's a routine hit, bro. I feel like if I'm gonna get knocked out like that, I might have to rethink some things. Andrew Luck, you know, he retired early, so I mean, would you be thinking about that as well?
I mean, Luke Kuechly, that's another one. Retired. Yeah. I think that was more so concussion based.
Yeah.
But it's a tough situation though, and it's amazing. Kind of like Freddie already said, that he's even made the progress that he did in that time. I think they want to. I want to say they said like 7 to 9 minutes he was out, and shout out to that staff member on the Bills for giving him CPR the entire time. I mean, without him there, they said he literally saved that man's life.
Yeah.
And it's crazy though that he is as like cognitive as he is after losing. For being gone for 7 to 9 minutes. Usually you expect some type of brain damage or anything like that. But I haven't seen anything where they saying like, oh, he's just not the same guy. Like everybody seems to think that, you know, it was just like some freak thing, right? Yeah. So I don't know if I personally would get back on the court, but I don't know. It's crazy because I think he was on his second year. He also only was able to get that chance because Micah Hyde got injured. So it's crazy because he ended up leading the Bills in tackles as a basic substitute, you know what I mean? But it was
haven't even gotten the contract yet, like one of those.
Yeah, right. He needs to have a guaranteed deal.
Yeah,
he doesn't have a guaranteed deal.
I think this might help him though in terms of getting a deal because you know it's a sympathy thing. Plus, like you said too, he was producing as well. So I think that might help him in terms of getting one. But we wish you the best of luck. Like that was scary to see. Like just watching the highlights, I'm like, oh wow. I'm like. That him getting back up and then falling. Whoa, you see it from a concussion. It's like that looked different. So I'm glad he's doing better. I'm glad he's out and about, and I wish you'd all nothing but the best. Now, going on to another quick take though, we got Dana White. This is another hitting involved, but not on the field. This was caught on camera, and unfortunately, I'd like to say this right. One, we don't condone abuse. Okay, so like Dana White striking Ann White, we don't condone that at all. But on the flip side too, though, we don't condone Ann White hitting Dana White either. She did initiate it. Again, that's me saying that is not condoning Dana White. I am strictly stating facts. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, fellas, what should Dana White's punishment be? Because again, you know, he didn't start the fight, but it's not. I shouldn't even say fight. That's a misquote. He did not initiate it, but he did take place. And again, you know, like you said, you know, men should hit women. We've seen people get suspended or removed from their position. So I mean, what should be a fair punishment to you guys? Reese, we'll start with you.
So I'm gonna start off by saying I think his latest interview or him addressing the media, I think it was very weird to me because he basically
didn't do anything. Like, what do y'all?
Yeah, he just kept, and then he kept saying the thing. He kept saying that if he steps away from the UFC, it hurts the UFC more than it hurts him. And I get that, but it's kind of like, especially in today's society, you know what I mean? It's such a touch and go type of thing. But it's like when somebody in power does something that somebody who would be on a lower level in terms of that power threshold would be punished, it's kind of like you would expect that person, but we all know that's not reality, right? Owners are not getting the same punishment as players. And commissioners are not getting the same punishment as owners. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, I mean, I think I saw Molly on First Take say that he should get the same punishment as a fighter. And I think that could be fair. Because I mean, when you think about it, like, he is in a literal like fighting sport. You know what I mean? It's not football, basketball, soccer. Like, his sport is surrounding. So when you think about any type of violence and you as a commissioner are associated with that type of domestic violence, it's like, it gets real touchy. So I don't know. I think maybe a punishment similar to something that a fighter would get. But that's also a perfect world because, like I said, I mean, owners aren't getting the same punishments as players in any situation or any circumstance.
So if you had to slap months, years situation, like, what would you, I guess, particularly want to see him have?
I personally feel like you could strip the man of his title and knock him down a couple pegs. And if he still thinks that the UFC would be better with him, then give him a lesser role. Something that's not, because I mean, he is the face of the UFC.
Yeah.
So it's like, if that's what you want associated with your brand, and again, that's me speaking kind of how the world is now. It's like, you want that associated with your brand as the UFC, then I think he could become a advisor, a contractor type deal. Like I said, knock him down a couple pegs. Definitely still step away for whatever time frame that is, but I think he doesn't come back as a commissioner. I don't know.
Okay. I think there was a similar situation to like where like Vince McMahon got stripped of his title for 2 years, but then I think it goes to his daughter, if I'm not mistaken. And then later on, he comes back, and then the stocks just skyrocket. So I mean, that if you have that situation of suspension, I think that does not really help the price. It's just more so optics. So Freddie, let me ask you this. Because this was actually brought to my attention, right? You know, you got to hit people in their pockets if you want to make a change. So I looked up the average paycheck. Well, so it looks like fighters make like $80,000 to $250,000 per fight. I know MMA makes more than that off these boys. So what if Dana White like contractually made it so that you had to flip the pay ratio between the fighters and himself? So now the fighters have to get. Well, they have to divvy up the money that they would get, that Dana White would get, and then Dana White has to get the money that they would get. Freddie, let me ask you that. What do you think about that? Would that be fair, or should a suspension or even removing him from his title be better?
Now, let me preface all of this by saying I do not condone what he did.
We said that at the beginning. We got
condone, that. No, but listen.
Freddie said, I want to make sure.
Okay.
My T's and dot my I's.
Yes. Because I don't want anything to get taken out of context and misconstrued there. Okay? Because you guys may not agree. But I feel like this is one of those slippery slope situations. Now, she smacked the living hell out of him. Whoever was recording, Jesus Christ, cameras are everywhere, right?
Someone said that they didn't think the slap was hard, so it's interesting.
Well, supposedly she slapped the hell out of him. But he definitely slapped it, and he has some fighting background.
Right.
All of that. Alcohol was involved. Their husband and wife, they've been together for years. Supposedly, they both came out, gave their statements. This is the first time it's ever happened. I've never been of the mindset with any person from any background of just completely taking everything away from someone. Now, do I think he needs to step away for a bit? Maybe. But with his position, it's more so. I think this is more so going to be like a court of public opinion type of situation, right? The people are going to choose if they want to support this brand or not for the time being. I think it's more so that because he realistically can't be punished unless it's going to be a domestic matter or something like that, a legal matter in court. If they aren't handling this in court, realistically, outside of the court of public opinion, I don't think there's going to be much to do here, unfortunately. Again, because if we go down this slope of, well, we got him on camera doing this, even though he came out in front of it, he said, whatever comes my way, I'm willing to deal with that. There's no excuse for doing it, all of that. Hey, man. Hey, we can't really do nothing to him. Who's going to punish him?
And I'll say this, Freddie, do you believe that was the first time? Alcohol
honestly,
in the club?
Honestly, I feel like, yeah. I mean, I do feel like, yeah.
Publicly, I'm not, yeah.
I'm not a crazy, I'll say this, I respect what he's built over there. I'm not a crazy Dana White fan. I respect what he built over there. I'm a Joe Rogan guy through and through. But, like, I feel like it was, like, I don't have any reason to not believe it was because she smacked him with, yeah, you know better. And his reaction was, yo, why did you? Like, it seemed like this was a first-time situation for both of them.
Yeah.
But, I mean, all in all, the biggest part that annoyed me, and I'll be done after this, is the contradictory, I guess, the contradictingness behind it. Now, forgive me, I ain't finished college, but what I mean by that is he's came out and spoken up when former UFC fighters have had trouble, checkered pattern of backgrounds and such of domestic violence and just other out of ring situations. This kind of comes down as a contradictory situation where this has happened. Again, alcohol may have been an encourager, if you will. Maybe some of his combat fighting reflexes kind of kicked in and he never been smacked by him for but whatever. It's contradictory still. Because he's spoken out about other people saying it should never happen. He's on tape saying it should never happen in the past of other people. So now he has to deal with it. But I respect him at least for getting out in front of it, saying whatever comes my way, I gotta accept that. Granted, it's on camera, but yeah.
So to be clear, you believe then that he should reverse the pay ratio over Lee?
No, I don't think. I think that's taking it too far.
Because you don't think anything should happen to Buddy?
Well,
except for just being removed of the title.
Well, I think that again, the people will decide his fate. Are they going to support or are they not going to support?
Well, I'm asking you.
Freddie made a good point though about both of them making a statement and kind of like watering down the situation a little bit. Because it'd be different if his wife kind of like decided to take action against him.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then that's a whole nother, like Freddie's saying, you can kind of judge what you're going to do based on what happens in court. But since it seems like they're going to go on with their life, I mean, it's like.
I feel that. I just think of Ray Rice. So I'm like,
oh,
it's different, but it's similar. Yeah. Like, because that video, like, if you were just.
That was assault.
If we just heard of this, oh, okay. I mean, dang, why do you?
What do we hear though, Trey? Did we hear that Dana? Did we hear that his wife Hannah smacked him first and then he smacked her back? What are we hearing? You know what I mean? Because I think actually had the luxury of a video.
Mm-hmm. I heard Dana first, and that was the main headline. It was a little later on that like, oh, and slapped. I'm like, oh, okay. I mean,
but knocking somebody unconscious and dragging them.
It's different. But I'm talking like the video aspect. I thought like I honestly felt like Ray Rice was going to get off until the video popped off. Like, because football players always got off. So it's like it was the once you saw the video.
Same thing about Kareem Hunt when Kareem Hunt kicked that girl.
Even with the Draymond.
I'm like, it's because of the video out now. Something's got to change, and because he's saying you can't do anything to me. I just, if you do something to me, it's going to hurt the fighters. Fine. Pay the fighters more. So now, it doesn't matter what we do to you. The fighters are going to be taken care of. I feel like that would be fair.
I feel where you're coming from, though, Trey.
Yeah. I just feel like it's tough to make that happen. Legally. Okay, first of all, legally. Even aside the legality standpoint, that's not going to be something that can happen overnight. That's probably going to take months upon years.
Do we really think the UFC can survive without him, though?
What's that?
Survive without him? Think the UFC could not survive and thrive?
I'll be honest.
Because
I'll be honest. It won't be the same.
You said it what? Well, y'all both said the same thing. I mean, y'all saying spoke at the same time. I mean,
I was saying, can we not schedule fights without Dana? Like, can we not say, oh, this fighter would fight nicely against this would be a nice match? Like, I personally think you could.
Yeah. Right. Now I'll say this because I watch UFC, so I'm speaking from a place of I've been appreciative of. He's been at the forefront of making a lot of fights happen in a period of time. So the fights like with boxing, that's always been the biggest thing about why boxing has been slowly trying to ascend back to where boxing used to be back in the 80s and such, 80s era, is because they don't make the fights happen. Dana White literally is the guy that makes those fights happen. All of these historic fights that we see happen, he's behind all of that. Other than him, there's nobody that's been able to make that happen, even outside of UFC. There's other, of course, competitors and stuff, but
you don't think we can replicate that really quickly? You don't think
it hasn't been replicated?
Yeah, that's what Freddie. I understand what Freddie's saying from that standpoint.
I see
you
that.
Have to see somebody
those contracts to work, and
I get that. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, hey. We'll see how it shakes. But look, fellas,
we do not condone domestic violence
in any sort of fashion.
With that. But we can't reiterate that enough, though. Nobody need to hit nobody. That's all I'm saying. Although I guess that's a double negative. So nobody need to hit anybody. There you go. Correct. All right. But look, hope y'all all enjoy it, and we're gonna transition on to the next segment. So stay tuned.
Assist performance, James will be that generational scorer, winning by scoring. But Mitchell Robinson really is a fantastic defender. And
Randall comes up with a steal, quickly on the break. Catch, fire, airmail. Down the floor, Randall leaking out and laying in. About midway through the second, Harden leads MP, lays in. Little too strong. Another second chance. Randall dishes. Grind. He got it. Making 4 of 7 from the line. Harden 6 of 7. Randall skates in.
Or there's no move I don't have in my repertoire. He did say there are other guys like, KD.
James gives it up. Randall on the attack. Randall with 20.
He got to the rim for a floater in the first half there with the step back.
Remember, Robinson is 3 foul
at that point.
So be ready for it.
Just be ready for it.
Randall with a pull-up. Getting it back, cooking again. Lead is 9. Embiid fading and hitting. Oh, nice find. Embiid to up to 8. Brunson leaves it short. Randall stretch of late. Randall leads the way for New York with 33. Embiid has 31. Make it 34. Knicks need to score in a hurry here. Randall does. The Philadelphia 76ers use a monster fourth quarter to pick up their 8th straight victory.
But look, fellas, I greatly appreciate this. Look, let me get the proper banner. There it is. Y'all have anything y'all want to say before we close up shop, Reese? I'll start it off with you.
Hey, keep tuning in. We're not going nowhere. Keep tuning in. We got the takes. Keep tuning in. Hey, Jaguars over the Chargers. Dougie P for the win. Go ahead and throw that out there.
I just wanted to say, Panthers almost got to the playoffs, fellas. I'm happy.
Y'all did.
That was impressive.
Y'all did. Y'all should have beat the Buccaneers.
I wish we did, but it is what it is, though. It is what it is. He's saying that more so because he doesn't want the Cowboys in the playoffs. But then again, they're gonna go against well, actually, no, it wouldn't have mattered. Actually, yeah, it wouldn't have mattered anyway.
No, they just would have won whoever won y'all division. I mean, played whoever.
What we got next, Brody?
Oh, that was Freddie. He can't be talking. Freddie the one to be talking the most up here. Like, what? out of here.
Hey, you know what it is,
You would
right?
have been
I'm
done
anxious
like
right
30
now.
minutes
Listen,
ago.
I'm anxious. I got like 5 good bets, so I can't look at them. We're recording.
I'm not look. Hey, look. Hey, funny enough too. I cut the sports betting one just so that we can save time. So that's funny that you brought that up. I got to do sports betting.
I'm like, yo, I might be super close today. I'm sitting over here like, yo, I think I hit already. Yo, Knicks are winning, by the way.
I got you. Well, look, ladies and gentlemen, that's all the time we had. So I hope you all enjoyed this. Definitely don't want to rush. You mess up like I just did. It's tragic. But look, tune in next time. We will talk about the NBA All-Star selection. So I hope you all enjoy it and take care.
Wait.
Oh, I did not know you guys were still here. As you can see, we're at the back end of the show. No pun intended, but look, hope you all enjoyed it. And before you go, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow the IG account, share the content to anybody who's anybody. And most importantly, leave your thoughts and comments below. But I got to go back and play Buddy in 2K, so let me unmute him real quick. Excuse me. Hey, boss, I'm back. Nah, you better catch this word. You know we get buckets around here.